and there was one guy whose name I'm forgetting. I apologize, but he runs a really cool New York-based like esport couch esport meetup at bars in
cool.
New York. Sorry, that was a mouthful. But he likened kind of the whole local multiplayer crowd almost like karaoke, where you just are given like these games that are they're kind of bite-sized, and they provide a platform for the player to be really expressive, and to kind of get together with a crowd in an environment that really isn't too intimidating. More often than not, these are for at least their meetups. They're games that maybe not everyone has heard of, and so no one's coming in with the expectation of being a pro at it. It's just kind of having fun, testing the system, kind of seeing who the star players ultimately turn out to be. And I thought that was a really cool thing to like in local multiplayer too. Was that kind of that karaoke experience?
Just if you were talking about baby castles?
I think isn't Baby Castles more of a collective, kind of like Glitch City, or yeah, I don't think it was Baby Castles. I think it was something else. But I am familiar with Baby Castles, and they're really cool people. But yeah, and then on that subject of like giving people a platform to kind of experiment and with the game system. Recently had the chance to kind of talk on a panel about like indie esports, more specifically like what the heck is an indie esport. And one of the questions that we got was kind of like what's the difference between esports and sports, or like is there a difference? And I think as long as you're creating a space that has clearly defined rules, that will also allow like the player to become the star or become like expressive or more than the game itself, then I think you're doing a good job to like really creating an effective sport. So for example, like when you're playing something like I'm just going to throw this out there because it was on the stream earlier and it's a game that I really love, Uncharted. Kind of when people talk about the series of Uncharted, they're kind of talking about Nathan Drake and like, oh, it was like it was really cool when like Nathan was doing like this thing on the train, or when this happened, or like, oh man, like Sully's so cool, I love Sully. When you've got something like and that they're characters in the game, but at the end of the day they're kind of talking about the game, or they're talking about the train segment, either the things that are highlighted or either the characters or the set pieces that you have. When someone's talking about basketball, no one's talking about like, oh man, I loved the part where the ball went into the net. Like that blew my mind. I don't know, maybe for like the younger like basketball leagues out there, that's the case. But at the end of the day, they're probably talking about like Michael Jordan. And similarly, in like the video game arena, you have people like Faker, in like League of Legends, and like people are talking about him and like just how amazing he is at the game. He has now become like a personality, and he's made it his own. And that's equal parts him and the designers for allowing a system where he can reach that level and kind of develop that community. So I think for anyone who's looking to create a multiplayer experience, it's not something that you really like. I definitely would be lying if I said like, oh, we were totally keeping in mind like that we wanted to have like a figure for our game. But I think it's something I've just like have thought of more and more, and it's something to consider when developing multiplayer games, especially if you want them to be built for like crowds or spectators.
Also, make your video games for Kanye West.
Yeah.
What is
You
happening?
gotta tell
Yeah, I
the
think I'm
English
having a
story.
little issue.
Oh, he got knocked
Yeah,
out.
you do. This is that's a bug with this version of the build. This is an older one,
You can switch it sometimes.
but it is fun. It's kind of like a. It's a weird bug. It kind of does like the Princess Peach.
Yeah, exactly. I was just
hover
like, am I
float.
hovering
Yeah,
right now?
exactly. It's actually been a big hit in playtest, but we're kind of like, that's not what we're going for. But good on you guys.
Is it like?
Colin says you should tell the Kanye West story from the game.
Oh, that I should tell a Kanye
Yeah.
West story? Oh, jeez.
Kind of.
Yeah, so the spoiler's kind of in the title, but I was at E3 and I was playing Cuphead at the Microsoft kind of area, and was having a really fun time with it. And I kind of hear this gruff voice be like, "Hey, I want to play that." I'm just kind of like, "Oh, dude, me too, man."
Same.
But then, like, a hand kind of comes in and grabs the controller. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's a little bit much, guy. I was waiting in line. I turn around, it's Kanye West and his bodyguard. I'm just kind of like, and then he takes the game, and then he just starts playing Cuphead. It took me at least another 20 minutes to realize that unlike Taylor Swift, he did not let me finish. So yeah, that's how I got T-Swifted by Kanye.
Nice.
But the man loves his indies.
Yeah.
He's very concerned with the state of affairs in the games industry,
Kanye
specifically
West,
the mobile
He
market.
is a game developer, if you didn't know that
He
already.
is.
So
Yeah.
really, when you're making games, don't think about the customer, just think about Kanye West.
And-
He's gonna, criticize your game. That's what I learned in C3.
Specifically, your free-to-play monetization models,
Yeah.
and how they entice small children, such as Northwest, to make
Yeah.
bad investment decisions. It's kind of like what was it? Northwest had.
iPad.
Well, they didn't. It had an iPad, but also recently, like, tweeted out pictures of Kim, right, on Kim's Twitter feed.
Oh, really?
It was some picture of her that
I remember
Kim was like, "Lol, don't know how that got on there." I think like Northwest tweeted this, but I'm not complaining. Like it was a good photo of Kim, so she was just like, "Oh,
Okay.
Northwest," but someone like needs to put some restrictions on Northwest iPad.
Too much power.
She is like tweeting and getting more paying for the Candy Crush. Some supervising is in order. I don't know. They do a pretty good job for as busy as they are, though.
When I was a youngin', I didn't have any tweeters or Instagrams.
All I had was Easy Bake Oven.
Easy to
Yeah. Which
Finally
was
won.
Nice.
I'm still trying.
Undo stock mode.
It's weird because it seems so simple, right?
What
But
is
then you're
party
like,
mode?
I keep
Does that
trying to
work?
like do like
I think it does.
C-stick combos.
Oh,
Don't worry about
yes.
this.
Fine.
Then let's ignore
for
it.
the future.
Off the camera. You want to be on the
That's pretty good. Just get nice and comfortable.
For sure.
Sweet.
Yeah, I keep wanting to do C-stick combos from Smash for some reason.
Yeah, well, that's going to be like one of the things that we're trying to build in is like more special moves and just kind of more options for the player. We
Awesome.
feel like we've got a pretty good base right now.
Oh, yeah.
for-
No, this
I really like the bite on the first tier. And
Yeah.
it's like a little disappointing that all the rest are just like variations on this fling. And I don't
think,
know, like
I think a part of that is like with the bite, like Jocelyn created a really cool animation for it, and I think it's just a matter of matching that for, if not, like, 'cause at the end of the day, the bite is just a fling.
Yeah, it's
like,
a really,
very,
really
it's a very
short
small
fling, right?
Yeah, but just giving all of them, I don't think they quite have their own distinct feel yet, even though they behave very
I see.
differently. Like drastically so. Like one of them allows you to actually cut through objects in the environment, which is huge. And another lets you like just change directions in midair, which is pretty good for mind games. But it's just getting them to feel, as different as they play.
I mean, yeah, literally just that animation makes the bite feel super powerful.
Yeah, it's actually the weakest attack in the game. But it does not feel like it is, at least right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It does function. It's just a fling that's short, right? I guess the window dressing makes
bam.
it.
So yeah, like literally,
Some
I
next
spent,
level strats right
Yeah, I saw
there.
that.
I spent maybe like a day doing like the special effects animations for the flings when you're charging up. There's like electricity and like fire that comes up behind you, and like it you definitely need to like figure out a different way to make them feel special when you're charging them up. Charging them up.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad that the chomp is successful. Spent like a day on it.
Well, you spent a day on one, right?
Huh?
You spent a day on the one chomp.
I spent like maybe like
Whoa.
3.
She technically
hours.
spent a day on the chomp, like, or 3 or 4 hours, but her whole life was leading up to
Yes,
that
exactly.
moment in
You
which
don't
she
understand.
did.
Okay.
It's very
So you've got at least a couple of years, going into that, all leading up to this very moment. So development time on Ectoplaza has actually, at least for me, been 22 years.
Gonna
and-
continue
and I think
on
it's looking
when
pretty
we're
well.
ghosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep on working on it.
Everything I've learned has gone into this game.
Interesting map. Let's see.
Yeah, let's do. So dining hall was the big competitive map that we were touting at Dare. But the only mode that we had at the time was Collectoplaza, and actually when we were showing it, we never had the goal function. It was just as soon as you picked up Ectoplasm, it immediately went to your score. So what happened was, because the ectoplasm has gravity, it would all just collect on the bottom there, and so people would just be fighting like underneath the chairs in between those 2 tables on the bottom, and we'd call those people bottom feeders, which is not a reflection of how we feel about fan base or Steven currently.
Well, that wasn't me. That
but
was
just
my team.
Some fun terminology, yeah. But
Jeez.
it's
Alright.
fun. It's kind of fun how
Finally.
like
Finally.
Got it.
languages will and dialogue or what am I trying to say?
Terminology.
Terminology. There we go. Yeah. Forms around a game, especially one that has any sort of like community aspect to it. Whether that's when we were doing our play tests and we didn't have names for the characters, and whoever was playing it as the pink character always seemed to be losing all the time, and they ended up calling him Bad Luck Bubblegum, which I thought was adorable. Or something more recent like the Bob Ross Twitch stream,
Yeah.
where everyone's suddenly like saying like GLHF at the start of a painting and GG afterwards, or like ruined anytime he like would do a broad brushstroke and then saved when he'd like make something legible out of it, which is amazing actually. It's done now, right? The Raw stream.
Unfortunately.
What happened to that channel? Because they had a subscribe button on there. Is it just?
I'm not sure.
I hope they
Yeah.
rebroadcast that.
It was so good. I love Bob Ross. He's delightful. I know there's a YouTube compilation video out there of like him and his like his like odorless paint thinner that and just like him just like he's like and then you just beat the devil out of it and just whack the brush and
Wow.
it's so adorable.
There's a Bob Ross game dev Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
that is
so
okay. That's the
good.
best thing to happen to game dev. It's so. It's
Forever.
Oh man, yeah. There's the one where it's just like sometimes when I'm get a little too into my programming, I like to just go outside and talk to a tree. And I'm just like Bob.
I'm gonna link our the viewers then.
Yeah, please
boy.
link the viewers.
All right.
Oh, I'm out.
It's just us.
Gardante
Dang it.
says his son is more central.
Wait, what?
What is?
Bob
What-
Ross's
Bob
son?
Ross's son. I don't know.
I didn't know.
Are we-
Bob
are
Ross
we-
has-
His
oh,
son?
it does.
Someone in chat.
Okay, cool. I didn't know he had a son. You are excused.
Just cleaning house now.
I like the group that we're getting into here.